Dr. Maheshwari, let me begin by asking you that undoubtedly this is a big day in the spirited fight against coronavirus, where you have at least two vaccines which have been given an emergency use authorization. But today is also the day where we are seeing some politics being played over this entire matter. Let me first begin by asking you, how would you like to allay those fears that perhaps many Indians would be having today, especially given the fact that you've had political parties raising questions about the efficacy of these vaccines?
I think it's a mixed day. We already are going through a historical day. We have already seen approval for two vaccines, but then yes, when such kind of reports come in and people start politicizing the vaccine, then it becomes a sad day as well, I would say, because you know how hard work our scientists and our doctors have put behind this entire vaccine that has come out eventually. If you remember, there was a time when WHO said that there might not be a vaccine at all. So they had put in that rider there and they were very speculative about the vaccines and all. And now, thankfully, we are seeing these vaccines coming in. There was also a time when the virus was mutating. A lot of people were suggesting at that time that even if the vaccine comes out, it would not be useful and we would not be able to vaccinate people. And also, at least we are standing at a point where we have vaccine in hand, and all those dark stories that were being pointed at us about the coronavirus looks like we are, we can see a silver ray of hope out there. And if you look at it, then India is the second worst affected country in the entire world. After America, we already have 10.3 million cases and close to 1.5 lakh people who have lost their lives. And now we are on this mission of the largest mass-scale vaccination that we are going at. People should understand that these vaccines go under very stringent guidelines. They are not kind of generated in a day or two. And secondly, yes, people do worry that, earlier the vaccines had taken years to be successful, like 5 years, 10 years to eventually come to the market. But this time, within 12 months, we are ready with the vaccine, which probably has generated some kind of confusion in people's mind. But people should understand that these vaccines, the parameters that they go through, the trials, the regulations, everything that is there, which is being laid out for a vaccine, is a very, very meticulous, stringent process. And all the data has been submitted to the expert committees. And after a very close scrutiny, they have actually come to this conclusion that, yes, these vaccines are safe, these vaccines are efficacious, and we can go ahead. And again, the government has said that it will be a restricted use. So government is still not allowing it to come out into the market or for a general public use. So they have said that they would use it for people who are 18 years and above. They've also categorized the age for these people who will be inoculated. It would be the healthcare workers, the frontline workers, and the people who are above the age of 50 years who have comorbidities. So we have already kind of prioritized the list to those we would be giving or inoculating these vaccines. So people should understand that they should believe in the scientist community that is there. They should believe in the doctor fraternity, and they should be assured that the expert
Dr. Maheshwari,
comprises. Yeah.
I would also like to ask you, as far as the challenges that perhaps India is going to face, we have a target of roughly about 300 million to be vaccinated by August. But what if I'm not part of the priority group right now? And if I want to get myself vaccinated, how does that really work out? Do you think that these vaccines that have been given authorization at this point in time would be market ready in the days to come?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure we would be having vaccines, say roughly around, I think by March or April, we should be seeing these vaccines in the market as well, because we already have approved two vaccines, and I think in coming days we'll see more approvals coming in, as ZyCoV-D, which is a Cadila vaccine, is also entered phase 3 trials, and Sputnik 5, which is a Russian vaccine, is also undergoing trials in India. So hopefully we'll have more vaccines. So the bouquet would be there with 4-5 vaccines at least, and some of them would hit the market as well. But what is more important for people to understand is that if an individual gets vaccinated, it does not serve the purpose. What we need to really do is to break the chain of transmission, and that is only possible when we can first prioritize the people who are more vulnerable, who are at the risk of the disease. And if we are able to do this, because ultimately our goal is to achieve herd immunity, and until the herd immunity is achieved, no one is safe for that matter. So even if few people get the vaccine, if they're able to access the vaccine through market or something, and they get the vaccine, it does not serve the purpose. So the way the government is doing that, it has prioritized the people, it has generated the whole list who would be getting the vaccine first. I think that is the most sensible way of achieving herd immunity, and that is our primary goal. And also, if you look at then our system, the existing health system, universal immunization system is very robust. We give somewhere close to 390 million jabs a year to roughly around 55 million females and neonatal children in India. So we already have a very strong network and also a very well-oiled, I would say, an electronic system as well, which is monitoring the entire logistics of the flow of the vaccine from the transport system to the centers to eventually to the arm of the people. So we have a very robust system at present, which is monitoring the temperature of the cold chain, which is monitoring the logistics and the other things that are there, which is part of the whole exercise. So people should not be very worried about it. And I think people should stay away from this anti-vaxxer group that is there. The whole purpose is to dissuade people from not going for vaccination. But I would really appeal to people, don't listen to them, stay away from them, because their whole purpose is just to jeopardize the entire exercise that we are about to undertake. And please be assured that these vaccines have been looked after by an expert committee which comprises of doctors and scientists. Again, if you remember in the press release today, even the DCGI said that the expert committee comprises of pulmonologists, internal medicine doctors, pharmacologists, immunologists, pediatricians. So these are the people who have evaluated the vaccine and they know what parameters to look at. They have evaluated vaccine from numerous years. They have been doing this work. They know which parameters to look after. And once they have said that these vaccines are safe, please be assured that they have done it with best of the capabilities that they have. And people should not listen to the others who are trying to spoil the whole game.
Dr. Maheshwari, I would also like to draw your attention to this entire politics over Covaxin that's actually taken place. But there are some serious concerns as far as these clinical trials are concerned. Because remember what really happened in the United States of America, where they've essentially insisted on third phase trials to be completed, but also that they be completed on their population. And on both these counts, India did not actually insist. So herein comes in that entire fear that is the Covaxin ready to be administered to the frontline workers? Because at some point in time, we've been told that this is nothing but a backup vaccine. But is there a way that we have basically hurried up as far as Covaxin is concerned and given them the authorization too early?
Definitely not. I don't agree that we have hurried up on any of the trials that we have done. Definitely, we are seeing the trials being done in a shorter duration of time as compared to what we have done in earlier times, for that matter. But if you look at these unprecedented times that we are going through, and even if you look at the entire process of the vaccine manufacturing and the trial system that has happened this time, the animal studies have been done. Phase 1, phase 2 trials, which look after the safety and efficacy of the vaccine, have been done very well. And even the phase 3 trials, if you look at, they have been done with close to 30,000, 60,000 people as volunteers into the entire trials. And the trials, if you look at the other vaccines which are not Indian, then even those have been done at various territories like Mexico, Brazil, America, England. They have also looked at different kind of populations to do the vaccine trial. And even if you look at India, then India has also, even if you look at the indigenous vaccine, they have taken close to 25,800 volunteers in the phase 3 trial. And even if you don't complete the phase 3 trial, if you're close to completion of phase 3 trials, most of the results have come in by then. Now it's more of a formality that is left, and various people are just, trying to use that to their advantage. But no, please let people understand this, that the phase 3 trial was almost complete. The whole data is there. And after looking at the data, only the expert committee has given restricted approval to the drug. Obviously, these trials will go on for a longer while as well. So that's what emergency or a restricted approval means. So the phase 3 trials will continue even for a longer from here. And till now, children have not been included in the trials. Pregnant females have not been included in the trials. So over the time, these people would also be included in the trial, and we would see some final vaccines coming out maybe over the time. But what we have today, we should bank on that, and we should realize that these vaccines are close to 70 to 90% efficacious. They are very safe, even if we have seen some cases of anaphylaxis. That is very common with most of the vaccines that are there. And some minor side effects that might happen. You might have pain at the site of the injection. Some people might feel fever, headache, or some weakness for a day or two, but that's very common. So be assured that like any other vaccination that you have taken in your lifetime, the risk that is associated with that vaccine, it's very similar to what you're going to get here with the corona vaccine. So please don't come into these different gameplays that the people are playing. Please understand that these vaccines have been developed by scientists. They have been approved by scientists in a different third-party committee that sits and scrutinizes the entire data. And then now, and even if you look at this now, the healthcare workers are the ones who are going to get the jabs first. And these are the people who already know, because it is in their curriculum, they study about vaccines, they study about the effects of the vaccine on their body, and these are the people who are going to take the vaccine. The first shots are going to be them. So please be assured, and please don't listen to all the other ruckus that is going on about the vaccine.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Swati Maheshwari, for speaking to Republic TV and putting this into perspective. And as you rightly pointed out, that perhaps it is time to do away with the naysayers and go with what our scientists have been saying. We've seen over the last couple of hours several scientists who have basically joined us on this broadcast, and also doctors who are coming together and saying that there's nothing to fear, and the fact that the efficacy is something that has already been tested.